Warm welcome, everyone. I am Ann Williams, and you are tuning in to Agents of Happiness show. And today I have a new friend, actually, but also a very good friend. You know, sometimes you meet people and you feel immediately in your heart that this is going to be a friend. And this is one of these persons, and it's Miss Anna. Miss Anna, warm welcome, also a member of the Happy People Doha Business Group. So, Anna, would you like to say, who are you?
Yes, I would love to say, but before I speak about myself, I would like to say thank you. Because for me, it's extremely important to be invited to speak about happiness. These are conversations that we rarely have, and we should do more because it's very important, whatever we do in life, to have a meaning, and happiness gives us that meaning. And with that, I'm ANNA NETI FONTAINE, Greek American, and I'm working for Penthouse Doha as a general manager.
Thank you. I mean, how cool is that? So, Miss Anna, we are looking the same. We have the blonde hair, we are almost the same name. And also, before we start shooting, we were talking about outfit, and you were saying, like, I was supposed to wear blue, but then I changed my mind and went back in.
Yes.
Otherwise, we would be sitting here with, you know, like a
uniform.
A blue uniform, the happiness uniform.
Yes.
So thank you, Anna, for being here. And I just cut to the chase immediately because we did have a little pre-meeting on Thursday last week. And we talked and we had a really nice conversation. So I assure you guys that you will have a really nice time now with Anna, because I went away from our meeting, you know, on clouds. And I mean it, because sometimes you meet these inspiring people that you feel have a, you know, genuine happiness. So, Anna, what is happiness for you?
Happiness is an inner experience, but it took me years and years of discovery, seeking, and struggle to understand what happiness is. I always used to think that happiness comes with achievements, rewards, a nice dinner, a nice trip, and yes, all of these give me happiness and gave me happiness, but it didn't last for long. Until I met with my spiritual journey. And then I understood that happiness is just a choice. It starts within, lives within, and manifests outwards.
No, it's true. Because it's almost like, you know, when you buy fresh milk, it has an expiry date, right? And that is the same, you know, what you were talking about with this happiness with things, trips, adventures, all that stuff. But it has just that long period that it lasts. So, but how do you do it? I'm very curious. How do you keep yourself grounded and happy and grateful?
There is a lot of practice, because to be happy is also a meditative act. Is to choose to be happy, is to choose not to react to any circumstance that happens to you or happens in the world, to understand that things are meant to be in a certain way, and that makes you content. You understand that everything is perfect. Now, many people, when I have these conversations, they challenge me on one thing: but you see a murder, how can you be happy? It doesn't mean that I enjoy what I see. No. But it means that certain things I don't have control on, and I have to accept that whatever is beyond my control shouldn't change my inner state. That's why I said, and I want to clarify, that happiness is an inner experience. I'm not happy, I'm not enjoying in a way to see all these catastrophes in the world, to see wars, to see all this misery, but I choose to be happy as a person for whatever happens, and to do my best always to give actually my best in the world, not contributing to all this negativity around. And that's also a state of mind.
No, you're right. And also, because it is easy. It is like gossip, you know, it's easy to get dragged into that, but, you know, I choose to not be dragged into that. And that is the same with the negativity, right? It's easy to get drawn into this.
It's addictive.
It is. And self-pity, and just because it's kind of cozy to wear that self-pity cardigan, you know. Just like, no, because it's easy.
But you know, the most interesting thing is that many people, they don't like when you tell them, you know, you don't have control on what's happening in life. But they give up control every single second by engaging in this misery, negativity, and blame. Because the second you do that, you admit in a way or subconsciously that someone else is in control of your life.
Yeah, you're right.
You give up a choice.
Yeah.
By giving up a choice, you give up your freedom.
Yeah, we are in charge. You know, I am in charge and over me and my reactions and how I respond and how I'm acting, you know. And what other people think of me is none of my business. It's really not, because when we give that up, it's so much easier. But, you know, sometimes we do think like, especially when we were younger, and I was younger, I thought like, a little bit more what people would think about me. But as long as we are acting the best we can, right?
Yes.
What is the worst thing that can happen? I know we talked about that last week. I'm coming back to last week a lot because it was so like eye-opening in many ways. And we were talking about that of being, you know, in charge of our own feelings and all the things. But I am, you know, I'm thinking so much about what we talked about last week. I need to be present. So, okay. So, Anna, I know you are what you talked about just recently, but how, I'm curious as a person like yourself that I see as a, you know, grounded person, and, you know, a grateful person, happy person. But what do you do when you're lacking it? When you're feeling like almost the air has gone out of me, you know? Do you have any?
To be honest, usually I try to walk away from the situation, to think twice. I don't like to engage when things are getting really rough. I want to think, I want to step back, and I try to get an observer space. Because by observing, you understand that you are just part of a game, part of a play, I would say, more accurately. Because what happens in this world is like a movie. We all have to play a role. So when you realize that you just play a role, you understand that things will happen no matter how you react. Reaction should be controlled, and this is something that we can control. I cannot control anything else. So I engage in meditation personally. I engage in small different habits. I go paint. Sometimes I just go talk to my son. He's 7 years old, and part of, you know, this relationship helps me to have a second sense, you know, of seeing things differently. In what sense? I see that kids are genuinely happy. They are excited with everything. The world becomes big with one small act. You give them a small chocolate, it's like you gave them the world. We lost that sense of being happy with small things. So every time things get rough, I go and write a list usually of how many other things I have to be happy for, how grateful I am. And then I remember that this is just an event, or this is just an act. This is something super small when I see the grand scheme of things. And this is definitely not my journey, it's just a moment.
No, you're right. And I love what you were saying about that it's like a play, and you being from Greece, like a Greek drama, you know, right? Yeah, and that is amazing. And and there is, you know, always a director, right?
There is always
and if we are going to be like the director, the actor, the scenographer, you know, like, come on, we cannot control
There's no fun anymore.
No, it's no fun. Come on, we just have to, you know. And I love also what you were saying about, will it matter in a while, right? It's often very small things that get blown up in like big proportions. So and I love that with the gratitude list. Write a list, because in the end of the day, there is a lot to be grateful for. I love that. sometimes I'm doing that as well, but I kind of tend to forget it.
I mean, we all forget, especially when things go really well for us.
Yeah.
But when that changes, then we remember that every small thing matters a lot
Yeah.
in our life.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just sad that we cannot remember it all the time.
Yeah. No, and we are
It's
just
human nature, though.
exactly. I was just going to say it. We are just humans, right? Yeah. And even if, but I think if we are trying our best, our very, very best, then we sleep quite good, right?
We do.
Yeah. And oh, I'm so happy that I met you because, are you also a firm believer that when you feel in your heart that you meet someone that you are kind of vibing with, you're on the same level, you can speak, you are in the same eye level.
Absolutely.
That is amazing when you feel someone. And I think that in the end of the day, again, we are just humans, all of us. And we're here so short time. So we need to make it mean something. But how do you do that? Because I guess you're a little bit like me, life is short. We need to live life to the fullest.
I mean, as you said the key thing for me. I always try to do my best because this is all I can do.
Yeah.
Results are never in our hands. No matter what we believe that I did this, I did that, I got that job, I managed to pass my exams. In reality, it's grace. For me, it's all grace. Nothing is to be taken for granted. And the second we understand that, as I said, we go step by step. We understand that in this life there is no failure. It's only effort. You put your best effort and relax and see what happens. And you have to accept every result that happens to you because it's part of a journey. It's part of how we learn, how we grow, how we influence the lives of others around us.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, because, and also you as a mother, for your 7-year-old, for him, I mean, you are the world and you are, the idol. You are, so we need to lead with a good example. And that, I mean, it's also for us who doesn't have the children, I don't have children, but I do also know that I influence others by the way I am and act. Because, colleagues, friends, family members. So, yeah.
I have a very broad understanding about motherhood, to be very honest. I think we mother so many people during the day without even realizing it.
Yeah.
We offer that hug to our friends when they are in need. We help others. We understand that role in a very different way, much deeper than just giving birth to a human being. Yes, this is extremely important, but we have been mothering so many other people, ourselves included.
I love that. Oh my God, I got a little bit emotional, but it's true. Yeah. And sometimes we just need to give ourselves a hug. Or just like, hey, well done, because I think that is something that is nice to do, to compliment other people when they are doing good things, instead of like seeing the mistakes, see the good stuff, premiere the good things. And as you were saying, there is no really mistakes, it's learning.
Exactly. But also focusing on a mistake, what's going to happen? You just make it bigger.
Yeah.
So we can either choose being part, of the problem or the solution. I always choose the second because, this is how we progress. I don't want to be stuck in a loop usually, and I don't see any benefit from that. We just, as I said, maximizing the issue by focusing. I had a mentor in India once, and I always remember that he was doing a Q&A session, and there was a mother who asked, my son is so naughty. I've been yelling and doing all this kind, of stuff. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm losing hope. And the teacher said, what do you have to gain from focusing on that? But if you focus on his strengths instead, by, minute by minute, day by day, they will become so big that automatically the weaknesses will disappear. And that's just a shift in focus practically, in a nutshell. Is we choose what we see. You can see a weakness or you can see a strength. Both exist at the same time.
Yeah. It's like evil and good,
Of course.
you know, and they do exist for a reason. And that is the balance, because if it would be, you know, just like happiness, then it wouldn't mean something, right? Then it needs to be the balance, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I love it. And oh, I lost the thread again because I just, oh my goodness, it's so much to talk about. So what do you do when you're leading a big ship at work-wise? You have like a big road and you're in charge of many people. And you have your family and you have your friends, you have like a lot of people around you. So, and I know this is difficult because you cannot, take care of them all, because then we would go under. It doesn't work like that. But how do you do if you see someone that is struggling clearly with his or her happiness, or do you approach them? Do you do anything?
I always approach, but if I don't do from the beginning, first of all, to be honest, I observe. I'm just trying to understand when there is the right moment, because I respect that so many people, I would say, prefer to be private in the beginning.
Yeah.
They need their own space and time to understand what's happening. But once I see that there is that space for me, I always approach, but not to offer any help, because I don't think this is beneficial. I'm just trying to help them to find their own way in this dark space that they have been, found. Because sometimes we just get stuck, we lose our direction, we lose our focus. So for me, I'm trying to play that role of 2 years, available without judgment, without any opinion, just for them to take it out. Sometimes I realize that by just sharing your problem or what bothers you with the other person, 50% of the problem is gone.
You're right. And sometimes, it's for myself included. You just need to open your mouth, because when it's stuck in your brain and inside you, it becomes so big.
Yes.
So when we are actually, open up about it, it's like, it's like you're having yourself as a therapist.
Yes.
Because just having someone to listen to you is like half the battle is won. I like that. So, but Anna, so we talked about gratitude, and you do gratitude lists, and we talked about happiness. But how do you have any? So you talked about also that you do like I'm just in for a little bit more know-how from you, because you're so inspiring. So you talked about meditation to get yourself, grounded, and you talked about the gratitude list, things you're thankful for. Is there anything else that you have that you could share with us? A little bit of like, this is what I do.
I mean, there is no secret tip if this is what you ask, but I'm trying always in whatever I do just to be present 100%.
Yeah.
Because if you are in a situation, or like you are here and I'm thinking what's happening in my home or what's happening at work, and I race between different situations, this doesn't work. And even if you meditate for 1 hour or 2 hours a day, but the entire 22 hours your mind is going really crazy, it's not going to help. For me, I understood very early, especially from my childhood, which was extremely difficult, that all we have 100% is the present moment. So I'm trying always to be present in that moment, here and now. So this is all that matters, because for example, yes, now there are so many wars, right? Here and there. I'm not there, I'm here.
Yes,
so
you're here.
This moment, nothing's happening except this conversation between you and me, and an excellent person who's helping us, facilitating the technical part. So I'm always present where I am. I focus on this. remember, for example, in the past, they didn't have cell phones. There was no technology. Messages, sometimes there is a war. I don't know in which country, I don't want to nominate.
And we read it the day after, maybe in some...
is having a baby in the other side of the world. So by the time the letter,
Yeah.
I mean, the physical letter arrives there, maybe that child is already 2 months or 3 months
Yeah,
old.
or even maybe
Exactly.
1 year.
What changed with this information that wasn't distributed on the time? So I'm just trying to stay in my moment, focused, and enjoy whatever happens.
I love that, because as you were touching on, this with the technology, I think that is, it's of course it's good. Tech is always good and it's helping us a lot, but I think it's also hurting us a lot.
Of course.
Because it is easy to just like scroll your time away, or being available 24/7, and maybe your boss is, well, now you are the boss, but someone is expecting you to reply immediately, right? And we didn't have that before.
I mean, also, meeting everyone's expectation is not feasible. Whoever tries to do it doesn't make you a better leader, doesn't make you a better person. It just makes you available. But what value is this in this availability? Because the second you become 24/7 available for somebody else, you become unavailable for yourself and for your loved ones.
I love that. Say that again. Oh my goodness.
I say that the second you become available for everyone in life, you automatically become unavailable for yourself and for your loved ones.
I'm going to print a t-shirt with that one. That is so good. No, you're right, because it is like an economy, right? And we have ever so much credits, right? And if we are taking, then this will disappear. And this is me, and it's just getting smaller and smaller. And I think that we are onto something there, because if we are taking that away from us, then the happiness goes away.
And we take also from others by being so available, we take their opportunity to grow. For example, if I respond to my team 24/7, I mean 7 days a week, 365 days a year, they will never think what they should do. They have to grow. They need to understand themselves, their capabilities. They have so much potential that they are not aware of. The same applies with my child. My child will ask me questions about everything. He knows how to turn the lights on, and he will ask me, how do I do it? Is he going to learn if I always go there?
Yeah, you're right. We learn by doing, right?
Exactly. So it's an opportunity for growth. Being unavailable, you give, with good intentions, as always, because for me, good intention is the key element in everything we do. So it's an opportunity for growth for somebody else. It's a space that we give.
Did someone give all these things to you?
Hard life, I must say.
Yeah.
And
how did you learn all this stuff?
I had to grow up very early because my father got seriously ill. Then from dreaming mode, I had to be in a survival mode. And when you are in a survival mode, you learn fast, you engage with so many people. Thankfully, I had, people in my life who helped a lot, who taught me a lot, and they have been, by my side all along. And I grasped that opportunity, to learn, to see things differently. I'm reading a lot. I love reading, so I'm watching programs that gives me something and not really wasting my time, because there is a lot to filter, on that scene as well. And I believe the last part, the last mile of this process, which is always continuing, as I would say, is a spiritual journey, because when you start engaging in spirituality, you find so many answers within yourself. They are available there, but we don't want to turn inwards. We are not ready for it. So I became ready, because what else is to happen there? What is the worst actually to happen?
No, the higher power is always with us, and especially in a country where we are. You get reminded 5 times a day of you know, the faith. And that is something that I feel is so beautiful, because I feel after my almost 10 years here, I have become a better person, I believe, than I was before I came, because my horizons have broadened so much. Thankful to all of you that, you know.
No, I think the country and the place, the region helps a lot. And I remember when I first came here years back, people were telling me from all over the world, it doesn't matter the country, they were telling me, but how on earth these small countries, they are so rich and wealthy and beautiful and growing? And I told them exactly what you said. They said, do you know that these people 5 times a day, they are on their knees praying and feeling that gratitude that we don't even feel for major things that happen in our life. So definitely there is a reward when you are in that state, when you acknowledge that you're not the center of that universe and there is a higher power that governs everything that we do. Then the only thing you can do is become humble, bend on your knees, and thank that power, whatever is it called in all these different, cultures, for everything.
You're right. You're right. I love that, being humble and being grateful, because we are not the center of the universe. We are not, everything that travels around us. And, I think when we do believe that we are just part of it, and when we are playing our role well, as good as we can, then things becomes better for us.
Of course, for us, for everyone.
Yeah, because when we meet each other with a smile, with being kind to everyone, not just the bosses, to everyone, then life becomes more nice.
And easier.
And easier, because, if you see everyone as a potential new friend, even if you are I don't drive. I don't drive myself because I don't have the license. But you see, when we see each other a little bit more with kindness in the traffic, then it becomes nicer to drive, I reckon.
Yes.
Or instead of you being angry.
Oh, I drive and I'm nice and happy as well.
Yeah, like la la la, listen to some good tunes and just like wave. Yeah, I think it's how we think about others and ourselves is something. Anna, I need to ask you, because we are now in a radio station.
Yes.
What do you have any cool, nice, warm memories with radio?
With radio?
Yeah, like you listen to a show, or because I know we are in exactly the same age, you and me.
So, to be very honest, I grew up with radio in my country. And I remember that, I can't remember the show name right now, but there was a show that was criticizing, the misery and the negativity between, people. And I was used to laugh so much about it, because as a young person, I was like, what is there to be unhappy about? Why to be miserable? And that was my favorite. And then there was another one I remember also, which was very inspiring, for me. There was a girl who talked, on the radio about different stories. When she was upset, she would say that I'm going, to the ocean, and I take off all my clothes and I become a dolphin and I dance. And for me, that image of transforming to something else that makes you happy just in an instant, although I couldn't really figure out how that would be possible.
How can I be a dolphin?
Oh. But yes, I remember that radio. I would listen to different programs. It was so romantic. It was nice. And sometimes I would do it secretly at my bedroom when my parents, went to sleep.
Yeah, you're like, doo, doo, doo. But it also becomes a little bit like a friend, right? Because you have your favorite shows, your favorite hosts, and they, it feels like you know them.
Yes.
It's nice, yeah. And, I say this in every episode, but, for me, growing up in the 80s, listening to the music list, and, you have your little tape, and I was recording every whatever day it was, like a Saturday
And
or
we had
Friday.
identified, I mean, the programs that they put the best lists,
Yes.
the latest, you know, party lists or hits or anything.
Culture club,
Yes.
you know, all the, yeah. So that was something, you know, and if someone was walking in and disturbing my recording, it's like, shh. Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you. I mean, I could sit here for hours and hours
I understand.
and talk to you. And I'm so grateful for you, you know, taking the time, coming here, being so generous with yourself and your wisdom and your experience. And yeah, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here.
I thank you as well. I think it was important for both of us. It's always an exchange. I enjoyed it a lot, I must say.
Thank
And
you.
again, as I said, we miss these opportunities to speak about happiness, about meaning, about purpose. And I think happiness is an umbrella that covers all that. So
No, you're right.
thank you as well.
It has so many different, you know, and I think that, you know, we could give that as a little task to everyone that's listening, you know, talk to each other about happiness,
Yes.
gratitude, things that really matters, instead of the latest Nissan Patrol or the cool watches or shoes or bags, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Anna, for being you. And also, yes, we have another thing, I forget. So, because we are so multicultural, and you are also part of the happy people with over 75 different nationalities, and you being Greek American, and we know the English, but could you say thank you and goodbye in Greek?
Oh, of course. Ευχαριστώ.
Ευχαριστώ
Means thank you. And goodbye, you can say with different, I'll use the most popular. Γεια σου.
Γεια σου. So, ευχαριστώ, γεια σου.
Γεια σου.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. That was so fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.